Are you ready for the day a handful of American tanks accidentally stumbled into an entire Iraqi army and walked away without a single scratch? Because this isn't just another war story. It's the last great tank battle of the 20th century, and barely anyone talks about it. In this video, you'll watch how a single U.S. cavalry troop, outnumbered and outgunned, crushed the elite Tawakalna Republican Guard in the middle of a sandstorm in just 23 minutes. No fancy air support, no overwhelming numbers, just pure skill, bravery, and brutally effective American armor. And here's the wild part. This battle wasn't even supposed to happen. Stick around, because this isn't just about firepower. It's about chaos, split-second decisions, and the moments when war gets terrifyingly personal. Let's go back to February 23, 1991. Operation Desert Storm is already roaring into full swing. A column of tanks belonging to the U.S. 2nd Armored Cavalry Regiment is thundering across the Iraqi border. Among them is a guy you're going to want to remember, Captain Herbert Raymond McMaster. He's standing tall inside his M1A1 Abrams, commanding Eagle Troop, one of the first American units to punch through. Their orders? Advance. Secure the area. But under no circumstances engage the enemy directly. That's a job for the heavy hitters behind them, the 1st Infantry and 3rd Armored Divisions. So far, the ride is smooth. They meet barely any resistance. Iraqi conscripts, terrified and outmatched, surrender without a fight. Some even wave. It almost feels too easy. But McMaster knows better. He knows something's out there. And he's right, because just beyond the horizon, hidden by wind and sand, lies one of Saddam Hussein's most feared forces, the Tawakalna Republican Guard. They're dug in, well-trained, and they've been waiting for the Americans to walk straight into their trap. The next morning, the weather turns ugly. A brutal sandstorm sweeps across the desert, turning everything to a sea of beige. Visibility, barely a few feet. The sky looks like static. The air chokes your lungs. It's the kind of weather that makes men uneasy and makes combat 10 times more terrifying. Holy shit, what beautiful weather. One of McMaster's men jokes, but no one's laughing too hard. The orders come through. Push to the 70 Easting Line. Only 6 miles. Don't engage. Just find the enemy. Mark their position. Then let the heavy armor handle it. The soldiers nod. Orders are orders. But even they can feel it, something's coming. Engines roar to life. McMaster's Bradleys and Abrams tanks form a long column, vanishing into the storm like ghosts. Radio chatter crackles. Jokes are made. A few movie quotes are thrown around. I love the smell of napalm in the morning. $10 in the drink box for that one. Someone fires back. But beneath the banter, adrenaline is rising. Out in front, the Bradleys lead the charge. Their thermal sights pierce through the blinding sand, giving them a huge edge. The Iraqis, not so lucky. Most of their Soviet-built tanks rely on outdated optics. In this storm, they might as well be blind. Then, boom, the ground shakes. Airburst artillery. Rounds explode high in the air, raining hot shrapnel over the desert. It's terrifying, but the American formation doesn't panic. No screaming, no chaos. They simply veer off, regroup, and keep moving. McMaster watches, impressed. His men are sharp, trained, ready. Then something odd appears through the haze. Buildings, a strange little village. But there's no farmland, no animals, no water source. Something's off. Village, direct front. 1 round heat at my command. McMaster calls out. The loader slams a high-explosive round into the breach. The massive 120mm cannon aims straight at the structures. But McMaster waits. Are there civilians? Is it abandoned? Then muzzle flashes. Gunfire erupts from the windows. Bullets bounce harmlessly off American armor. But that's all McMaster needs. Fire! His Abrams lets loose with a deafening blast, flattening the nearest structure. The rest of Eagle Troop joins in, firing in near-perfect unison. Dust fills the air. The buildings vanish into rubble. Just like that, the outpost is gone. Then trouble on the flank. 2 M2 Bradleys, Eagle 13 and Eagle 16. Spot something. Iraqi T-72 tanks, lurking in the mist, motionless. "Do we engage?" one gunner asks. "Silence. They don't see us," comes the reply. The Iraqis have no idea the Americans are there. The sandstorm has cloaked their approach perfectly. The Bradleys take aim. With a whoosh, a tow missile launches. It flies through the storm, tethered to a thin guidance wire. Then impact. The first T-72 erupts. Its turret rockets into the air like a bottle cap. The second Bradley fires again. Another direct hit. 2 tanks gone before the enemy even knew what hit them. McMaster hears the call over the radio. 2 enemy tanks eliminated. But that's just the beginning. Those 2 tanks weren't alone. They were scouts, which means the main force is close. Red 1, this is Black 6. Swapping to tank lead. The Bradleys pull back. The Abrams take point. They form into a wedge formation. Sleek, fast, deadly. At the tip of the spear is McMaster. They reach 70 easting, but something's blocking his view. A small hill, barely noticeable. In flat desert like this, even the tiniest rise can be the difference between life and death. McMaster doesn't wait. He pushes over the crest. And what he sees next changes everything. Dozens, maybe hundreds of heat signatures. Tanks, infantry, trenches, anti-tank guns. All dug in, all pointed straight at them. The entire Tawakalna Republican Guard waiting. And now, staring straight at the barrel of McMaster's Abrams. This is no longer a recon mission. This is the start of the last great tank battle of the century. McMaster locks eyes with the thermal sight. Tanks, direct front. A wave of Iraqi armor stretches across the desert, hidden until this very moment. McMaster is now staring down the elite of Saddam Hussein's Republican Guard, and they're already in range. There's no time to wait. Fire Sabo. The crew obeys instantly. The loader rams in a fin-stabilized Sabo round, basically a giant dart made of depleted uranium, designed to slice through tank armor like a hot knife through butter. The Abrams recoils violently. A second later, 1.4 kilometers away, a T-72 explodes. But something's strange. No return fire. The Iraqi tanks don't shoot back, because they can't see them. The sandstorm is so thick and the Iraqi optics so outdated that the American Abrams tanks are invisible, while the Americans can see the enemy clearly through their thermals. What was supposed to be an ambush turns into a massacre. McMaster sees crews scrambling to man their tanks. Some dive into trenches, others just run. The scene is utter chaos. But chaos is opportunity. Load Sabo. Up. Fire. The next round hits another tank. Boom. One by one, the enemy tanks ignite, their turrets blown sky high or just crumbling under impact. It's like a shooting gallery with McMaster calling the shots. Behind him, the rest of Eagle Troop rolls over the ridge and joins the fight. Tank after tank opens fire. In minutes, the desert becomes an inferno of smoke, metal, and flame. Then disaster nearly strikes. McMaster's tank, callsign Black 6, takes a near-direct hit. His driver, Christopher Skog Hedenskog, sees the flash of an enemy cannon. Boom! A round slams into the dirt just feet from their hull. Everyone in the formation sees it. From their perspective, it looks like Black 6 just got hit. Black 6, Black 6, are you hit? No reply. In the chaos, McMaster's head had slammed against the cupola, knocking him off the comms. For a few breathless seconds, his crew is silent, and outside the turret, it looks like the commander is down. One of his officers, callsign Red 1, grabs the mic. "This is Red 1. Black 6 is down. I'm taking over. Follow my lead." But inside Black 6, McMaster stirs. "Sir, Red 1 just took over," his driver shouts. McMaster grabs the headset, dazed but alert. "This is Black 6, we're alive. I'm retaking command. Crisis averted." But outside, it's pure hell. Iraqi rounds finally start flying back. Tracers zipping overhead, mortars landing dangerously close, and tank shells thudding into the dirt. McMaster's Abrams charges forward, taking advantage of the confusion. They push right past stunned Iraqi tankers still fumbling to load their cannons. The Bradleys bring up the rear, their 25mm cannons hailing down fire on trenches and fleeing troops. It's hard to tell who's still fighting and who's already given up. One Bradley driver, Matt Lee, suddenly spots a figure in the mist, an Iraqi soldier stumbling directly in his path. Lee's finger tightens on the trigger, but something feels off. The soldier isn't aiming. He looks lost, blinded by dust and smoke. Lee makes a snap decision. He swerves. The Bradley misses by inches. One more second and that man would have been gone. Somewhere else in the line, two Bradleys are lit up by a blizzard of tracer fire. A ZSU-23-4 Shilka anti-aircraft gun hidden inside a bunker is spraying the convoy with its 4 autocannons. Bullets spark and ricochet off the Bradley hulls. They have no choice, they have to stop to return fire. The first Bradley locks on and launches a tow missile. Boom, one bunker wall collapses. The second Bradley fires again. The ZSU erupts in flames. But they're not done yet. One of the Bradleys, call sign Eagle 31, rolls to a stop, face-to-face with a T-72. The Iraqi tank is reloading, its turret halfway turned. No time to wait. The American gunner launches a tow missile. It hits just as the T-72 tries to fire. The Iraqi tank vanishes in a fireball. That close. A half-second difference and the Bradley would have been gone. Further down the line, another Bradley, Eagle 36, is completely out of missiles. And the enemy tanks are still out there. The crew needs a reload. Fast. Tribble, give me some tows, someone shouts. Scout Michael Tribble grabs the missile tubes stored in the rear. He opens the roof hatch, but the launcher's not facing the right direction. It can't be reloaded unless it's rotated to 5,950 mils. Can you turn the turret to 5,950? Negative. We're stuck like this. The commander can't move the turret, the enemy is too close. If they shift position, they'll expose their weak side. Tribble looks around. There's only one option. He climbs out of the Bradley and reloads by hand. Under fire, bullets whistle past. Some ping off the hull. Others smack into the sand next to him. He doesn't flinch. Tube after tube, Tribble reloads the launcher. One wrong move, one slip of the hand, and he's done. But he finishes. Done. Go. Go. He dives back into the vehicle, slams the hatch, and the Bradley charges forward, armed and ready. And through it all, the Americans keep advancing. They've now pushed well past the 70 easting line. That was the original limit, the official stop point, the safe zone. But McMaster doesn't care. I can't stop. We're still in contact, he tells command. Tell headquarters I'm sorry. Click. Radio off. He's not retreating. Not when they've come this far. Then he sees them. A new formation. Dozens of T-72 tanks. But these aren't attacking. They're parked. Still in formation. Like they were just caught at roll call. McMaster brings up his thermals. 17 tanks. 17. He sees a commander standing in the hatch of one, casually scanning the desert. Then the commander hears something. He turns his head, and what he sees, a full column of Abrams tanks, less than 1,000 meters away, charging straight at him through the fog. His eyes widen. Fire! 17 T-72s. Gone in less than a minute. 17 tanks. Gone. In under 60 seconds, McMaster's Eagle Troop had just wiped out an entire Iraqi reserve unit before they even got their engines running. The battlefield? A mess of scorched metal, overturned turrets, burning oil, and stunned silence. If hell had a sound, it would have been that moment. Steel howling through sand and fire raining from the sky. But it still wasn't over. McMaster's Abrams tanks press forward, scanning for targets. The Bradleys in the rear move in, clearing out what's left. They're not just destroying tanks anymore, they're wiping out enemy positions, ammo stashes, bunkers, and anything that can shoot back. Yet through all this destruction, McMaster's mind is racing. Where's the counterattack? Where are the reinforcements? There's no way this is it. The Tawakalna Guard was one of Iraq's elite units, battle-tested, well-armed, loyal. And now they're just gone? He jumps on the radio. How many casualties? The pause feels like an eternity. Then the response. No casualties to report. McMaster sits in stunned silence. Not a single American soldier was lost. Not one tank destroyed. Not one Bradley out of action. He exhales slowly. They hadn't just won. They dominated. In just 23 minutes of combat, Eagle Troop, just one small part of the 2nd Armored Cavalry Regiment, had destroyed 50 Iraqi T-72 tanks, 25 armored personnel carriers, 40 trucks, dozens of bunkers, trenches, and support vehicles, all without losing a single man or machine. Let that sink in. A scouting unit, not even meant to engage, accidentally rolled into a dug-in enemy formation, vastly outnumbered, in the middle of a sandstorm, and walked away untouched. It wasn't luck. It wasn't magic. It was training, discipline, superior technology, and absolute guts. Captain Herbert Raymond McMaster would go on to receive the Silver Star for his actions that day. He later became a U.S. Army general and even served as National Security Advisor to the President. But to the men who were there with him, inside those Abrams, behind the sights of those Bradleys, he'll always be the guy who said, "I can't stop. We're still in contact. Tell headquarters I'm sorry." That's the kind of leader people follow into hell. And that day, they came back with a trophy. The Battle of 73 Easting would go down in military history as the last great tank battle of the 20th century. But here's the crazy part. Most people have never even heard of it. No movie, no epic Netflix docuseries, just a footnote in textbooks, overshadowed by politics, oil, and bigger headlines. But maybe that's how real heroism works. Quiet, unassuming, covered in sand, smoke, and silence. So now you know. Now you know what happened on that nameless ridge deep in the Iraqi desert, when Eagle Troop went toe-to-toe with an army and didn't blink. You've made it to the end, but the fight's not over.